Hi, my name is Avi Shadmi.
Hi, my name is Emily Quinn. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you so much for your time.
No problem. I will be interviewing you today, so have a seat.
Okay.
Make yourself comfortable.
Would you like a copy of my resume?
That would be amazing. Thank you. Awesome. So let's just start off with a few simple questions. How does that sound?
Good.
All right. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I grew up in a small town in Colorado, right outside Denver. And then I went up to college at Ithaca College, where I graduated with my doctorate of physical therapy. And my entire life, I kind of was really interested in a lot of different things, including I was a competitive gymnast for 14 years. And then I also was really interested in volunteering. And so my entire family had that fostering around us my entire life. And so, excuse me. And so my entire life I've been kind of volunteering and around that whole community service civic engagement realm. And that's something that has really interested me and really sparked my interest in physical therapy itself.
Very nice. Can you tell me a little bit about why you're interested in this position and what interests you most about it?
Yeah, so this position really interests me because I love working with kids. Ever since I was 14, I've been coaching gymnastics, and that has really helped me to foster an environment and to really learn about how to teach children how to do different skills. In addition to that, I've also been a camp counselor since I was around 14 as well, working with different age groups. And so those two experiences together, in addition with just really enjoying the energy and everything that kids not only give off but give me, really makes me interested in the pediatric realm. And what interests me most kind of about this position is that you kind of have the opportunity to have inpatient and outpatient experiences. My first clinical affiliation was an inpatient experience, and it was something that really intrigued me and really made me understand the importance of having inpatient physical therapists.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think it's really fun to be out in the community and doing various impacts for kids, whether it's sports medicine or kids with various congenital disorders and diagnoses, as well as kids with cancer, whatever it might be, just to kind of help them and make their days. And I also really like that in your practice here at the medical center, that was really nice facilities. It looked very elegant and very updated, as well as having specialty areas like your sports medicine program, where you go out and help kids who are young athletes, either with preventing injuries or helping from traumatic injuries from those.
Yeah. All right, and can you share some of your strengths and weaknesses with me, please?
Yeah, some of my strengths are that I really consider myself a team player, and I am a pretty flexible person when it comes to that. Overall, I like stuff to be done very particularly and very detail oriented. But when I'm working on team, I know that the important thing is to put some of the opinions and everything aside, just so that you can get the greater good for the team and the greater overall outcome that you want for the entire organization. I also consider myself pretty good at listening. I think that's so important, especially when working with kids, to be able to put anything in your life aside and just listen to them and be there for them, and kind of put yourself in their shoes as best you can.
Mm-hmm.
I also am able to form a really good rapport with patients, both young and old. I haven't worked with young patients quite as much, but just working with older patients as well as working with kids that I've coached and been a counselor for, I've been able to really build up that rapport with them for different things. And I think that's a really good strength to have when working with kids of all different age groups.
Very nice.
As far as some weaknesses, I'm kind of sometimes can be too detail oriented because I'm kind of a perfectionist at some things, and I really like things to be done really nicely and very elegantly and correctly. And I think sometimes that can kind of take away a little bit of the time, not necessarily from patients, but just from other things as well. And so I think that's just something where time management comes more into play and something to work on when dealing with documentation, for example, and making it so it's still done correctly and very detail-oriented and thoroughly, but not over-the-top detail-oriented where it can take away from time I can spend with patients.
Very nice. Where do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years?
In the next 3 to 5 years, I kind of see myself at a steady, stable job that I'm really happy with, whether that's in a children's hospital, just helping kids out, or working for Children's Hospital and pro bono on the side, but I really would love to be able to make an impact in my local community. So no matter where I end up, I really want to be able to not only help kids in my career, but also be there locally in the community, helping give either pro bono services through various speaking opportunities, education opportunities, or even just volunteering and continuing that altruism.
Very nice. And can you tell me about a challenging situation you have went through with either a staff member or a patient, and what you did to be able to overcome that?
Yeah, so one of my patients, even though they were a little bit older, I feel as the story can also apply to children as well.
Mm-hmm.
They had a shoulder surgery and they were continually unaware of their precautions. Even though we repeated it to them many times, and they kind of just kept breaking all their precautions, which was really bad because they just had a rotator cuff surgery. And so it was kind of frustrating at first because she didn't realize the importance of all of these precautions and why they were in place. And so in order to kind of get over that challenge with her, we just made sure that we kind of sat her down and really educated her on not only what to do, but why it was so important.
Mm-hmm.
In addition, we also made sure her family was there and provide the family various education on how to guard her on stairs, for example, so she can make it up and down the stairs safely, but not have to pull on the hand railings as much as she was. And that was really challenging, but also really, really rewarding once we were able to figure out that she had a lot of balance impairments, and so that's why she kept breaking them. But then kind of tying her balance impairments to advancing her to a new assistive device or anything else that it might be, so that she could understand her precautions and start to follow them. And I think that kind of relates to kids because they might not always want to do an exercise and they might not always want to cooperate with the instructions that we give them, but it's nice to know that I was able to be patient even when I was frustrated, to be able to explain calmly to a patient how important it is to follow those instructions.
Right, very true. And are there any particular types of patients that you would like to work with ideally?
Yeah, for me, it doesn't necessarily matter as much about the diagnosis, but I just would love to work with kids as a whole, just because I do gain so much energy from working with them, and I think it's so rewarding. I also am really interested in social justice aspects of just global and national scales as well as local, and so because of that, I would love to work with kids who are in underserved or unserved communities, because I think that they a lot of times are lacking a lot of the healthcare that they need. And if I can even be one component in allowing them to get some of that access to some of that care, then it would be really rewarding for me, and it would really make me feel like I could make a greater impact on my community, because they could get the access and then we could actually educate their families as well. And so even if it's something that they have at a young age, it might be something they might be able to remember up into an older age to help them have more preventive measures and more overall wholesome wellness in their life.
Very nice, very nice. So do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, so I was noticing on the website that they talked a little bit about continuing education, but I was just wondering if you had any other continuing education benefits, because I saw that there was some research opportunities and a lot of research that your facility did, especially relating to kids with cerebral palsy, which really interests me as well, because when I was in college, I had private lessons with a young boy who had cerebral palsy when I was coaching gymnastics, and so I would once a week give him a private lesson on just different things in the gymnastics realm, but in some ways also kind of provide him with various exercises to get him stronger, and so that population intrigues me. So I was kind of wondering if you had more research opportunities and just more benefits as a whole, whether that's like health benefits or continuing education.
We do have continuing education for our physical therapists, and we also have a very strong research department, so that could be something that can intrigue you as well. And our sports medicine department also does a lot of talks and symposiums within the community, so they do that as well.
Oh, awesome. And then I was also just wondering, kind of on a typical day, in your outpatient versus your inpatient parts of the clinic and the center, kind of what a typical day looks like, how many patients each therapist typically sees.
So again, it depends on the day, on the season, but most of the time you'll be seeing around 15 patients a day in outpatient, and it could be more or less than that in inpatient. It really depends.
Great. Thank you
So you'll have a full day, no matter where you are.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I like full days.
Good to hear.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me.
Of course. Thank you so much
No
for your
problem.
time. Can I get a business card?
Oh, of course. Here you go.
Oh, thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you. You as well.